Hello, everybody. Pregame press college football preview for the second straight year. We're just going to look at all these college football teams, especially, not the ones that got canceled, obviously, but just take a look at all these college football teams that are still trying to play. Predict which ones will come out alive, and eventually which ones will go to the college football playoff. Will Stewart, my co-host, here with me. How you going, Will?
Good. How are you?
Good. Excited to be here. It's going to be a fun episode, college football preview.
It's been a long time.
Yes, it
college
has.
Football.
We are very excited for it to get. Should start actually tomorrow.
Yep.
Hopefully, if it gets underway.
Yeah.
But anyway, Will, we're going to start out with the burning question. Before we do that, just guys, we're not going to be predicting the Pac-12 or Big Ten
Since they're not
just
playing.
because they got canceled and they haven't made a decision yet on teams that are going to be able to get out.
So we
like Ohio State, who wants to
we just added the American Athletic.
Yep, we're going to predict the American Athletic along with Big 12, ACC, and obviously the SEC.
So that's 4 divisions.
Yep.
That we'll be picking.
4 conferences that we're going to be picking. But Will, the burning question is one that has been generalized, and it's hard to answer because you don't even know if some of these players are going to be playing, but who is the best player overall heading into the college football season this year?
Well, I would say Justin Fields.
I would also say Justin Fields.
If they were playing.
Exactly. We don't know the situation on Ohio State yet, right?
So let's say they're not playing.
Okay.
I'd go between Lawrence or Hubbard.
Wow, pulling out Chuba
I love Hubbard.
I love Chuba too.
He's just
Do you think Oklahoma State is contender for the Big 12 this year?
I mean, maybe.
They return their best receiver, they return their quarterback, and they return Chuba Hubbard, so we'll see. Potentially, yeah.
I think I'm going to go Hubbard.
You're thinking go Hubbard is the best player in ring on the college football season? Jesus Christ.
God is a B.
There's some tension between him and his coach, though. Between him and Mike Gundy, because Gundy had some. Everything's racist now, but
everything.
Gundy had some racist thing, and so there's some tension between him and his coach. But I think he's going to play. But I'm going to go. Also outside the box, I know Trevor Lawrence would be the key answer for most people. Well, Trevor Lawrence or Fields, but Fields obviously. We don't know the situation on Fields, but Trevor Lawrence would be the answer for most people, right? I'm going to go Jamar Chase out of LSU. He is ridiculous. And the scary thing is, he's heading into his junior season. So the numbers he put up last year, 22 touchdowns.
I mean, he could have got drafted last year.
He would have been, no. It's like top 15 pick.
Top 15.
Right?
And
I think he would have been up there with Judy and CeeDee Lamb.
Now that he's coming back, I mean, he's NFL ready.
He is, yeah.
NFL ready.
And he's not one of those, wimps that's going to opt out this year. He's like,
no,
I'm going to play, I'm going to get my draft status up. I'm like, it's already basically to the top, right?
Yeah.
His draft status is already all the way up there because he's that good. And, he's going to have a new quarterback throwing to him, but I think he's just so athletic. If it's a bad throw, he's going to reach out there and he's going to grab it anyway, right? And he's so fast. He's so explosive. So I would, obviously Trevor Lawrence is the contender, though, I would say. He just plays in a weaker conference. Jamar Chase put up those numbers in the SEC, right? He put up 1,700 yards, 1,700 receiving yards. More than most running backs had. So I'm going to go with Jamar Chase. All right. Well, let's just get right into it.
First one.
Divisions. We're gonna start out with the Big 12, and there's no divisions in the Big 12, so we're basically just saying top 2 teams.
So I'm gonna go Oklahoma first.
Obviously. Well, here's the thing about Oklahoma, though.
Yeah.
We don't know Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. We
never played in a game.
Never.
But he has like the 4th best Heisman odds. We've never seen him play.
Yeah.
For Oklahoma, but the past 3 years, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts. Are you kidding me?
Oklahoma, they can produce quarterbacks.
They produce quarterbacks.
They know how to.
Lincoln Riley is a mastermind at that. So
I think I'll do good with them.
Yeah, I do too. What do you think about Texas? What do you think about? Because Ellinger's amazing, right? But they lost.
Is Ellinger a senior or a junior?
He's senior, but so he's coming in all the experience he needs. He's been starter for 2 straight years.
Yeah.
Right. But now they lost some of the guys in defense. Their defense is very underrated still. I think their defense is still good. They lost a lot of guys in the secondary, with Brandon Jones leading the way.
Oh, yeah, Jones.
And Uchenna Nwosu, obviously, in the linebacker core. He's one of the best tacklers in the Big 12, so you lose that.
That's a lot.
Right? And then they lose Duvernay, obviously, the Ravens.
Devin Duvernay, yep.
Colin Johnson. Those two. Those are your best pass catchers. And then they lose their running back, Keontae Ingram.
Yeah. So those are undrafted. 3 big pieces on offense.
Exactly. That you're going to need to succeed, right?
Yeah.
And Texas is all offense, right?
Yeah,
you look at them, they're all offense, right?
Yeah, past 2 years they have been.
Yeah, and Ellinger's leading the way. So, I think you've looked at the games, the big games that they've won, right? Last year, Utah, they were favored to lose by 17 points.
And yeah, I remember that.
They destroyed them.
Yep.
Right? And who was it because of? Sam Ellinger. Carried the team.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that, but if he does that for most of their games, I'm telling you, they will be they may be first in the Big 12. Like, if they can get, because the Big 12 only has 10 teams, and now that they haven't even switched to conference only yet, so they're still technically playing 12 games.
Yeah, they are.
You get a 10-win regular season in there, you're up there with Oklahoma.
You are.
You're probably not going to be in the college football playoff at the 10-win regular season.
No,
10-2.
Still.
But if you can collapse Oklahoma from getting there,
In the division,
right?
There.
Oklahoma's D a little shaky. They
Mhm.
lost Kenneth Murray.
Yep.
Right. They lost a bunch. Parnell Motley, who's one of the best corners.
They lost a lot
In the Big 12. Then they lost Neville Gallimore to the Cowboys. Their
yes.
defensive tackle, right?
Tackle, yep.
He was amazing last year.
He was.
So now you lose three of those are probably the three best defenders.
And then they lost Lamb on offense.
Obviously, C.D. Lamb.
Quarterback.
They lost Trey Sermon to Ohio State.
They
Remember,
did.
he transferred to Ohio State. So
And Hurts.
obviously,
Eagles,
a huge
drafted.
piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So, new quarterback. Not a new running back. Kennedy Brooks has been there long enough for Oklahoma. He knows what's up. And then, what are your opinions on Charleston Rambo for Oklahoma? Their receiver. He was okay last year, but C.D. Lamb kind of overshadowed him.
I think he's going to be great this year.
You think he's going to break
I
out?
think he learned from CD.
Mm-hmm.
He's very fast as well.
Had Marquise Brown, too, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So he's learned from NFL players.
Learned
so
from the
I
best,
think
right? Yep.
He potentially could be very good.
Mm-hmm. I think he will be very good.
Yeah.
But I'm also, you look at another sleepy, kind of scary team, Iowa State.
Iowa State with Purdy.
Oh my God, Brock Purdy is ridiculous. I think he's better than Ellinger, and I haven't even seen Radler yet, and I'm still assuming he's better because
He's
his arm.
His arm is just.
I think it's a literal cannon. Like he shoots the ball out of it.
When he throws it, it's a cannon.
Yeah, it's literal cannon. It's going like a million. It's like spinning like a million miles an hour. He's amazing, and I think he's got good receivers. He's got a good running back.
Yes.
And their defense is. It's not terrible. But it's not like it's not Georgia.
Yeah. It's not
no
terrible.
one is Georgia, but Iowa State is. They're like an average D, but they're with a really good offense.
Yeah.
I think
could be.
they've made some upset bids. They lost to 1 point by Oklahoma last year.
I remember
3 years ago, Oklahoma was number 2. They beat them in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma, yep.
Then the same year they beat number 4 TCU. Like the upsets that Iowa State generates
They know how to upset.
is ridiculous. Like 2 top 5 teams in the same year. Insane. Absolutely insane. I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be actually like really good. I do. And then obviously Baylor. Right? Because they have Brewer from last year. He's back.
He's back, yep.
They lost Denzel Mims.
They lost a receiver.
Yep. To the Jets,
That's
I believe.
big. Yep. Was it? Yeah, it was Jets.
Jets.
Second round.
Pick 45, I think.
Yep.
But they still have like Tyquan Thornton. They have Chris Platt.
Yep,
They have like
Platt.
all these receivers.
That's good.
That are like Josh Fleeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have like 3 good running backs you could start.
That's pretty good.
But they lost the Lynch brothers on defense. If you remember them, their one defensive lineman, one's a linebacker. Blake and James.
Yep.
And those guys were amazing, and they lost both.
Yeah.
Draft. So I don't think their defense was best in the Big 12 last year. I don't think it's going to be as good.
I don't think.
But I do think they're still going to be a really good team.
Yeah,
and then I'm just going to say one more. I got 4 words for you. Kansas State, Skylar Thompson.
Oh yeah. Thompson.
My goodness. Yeah. Just straight absolute dual threat nightmare.
Is he a junior or senior?
He beat Oklahoma last year.
He did?
Yep, coming a senior.
Senior, okay.
So he's going to be.
Were they home that game against Oklahoma?
Yes, they were. Rushed the field like you would not believe.
Oh my God, I was watching that. That was a good game.
All right, Will, so now we're just going to get right to it. You look through those 5 teams. Those are probably the 5 best teams in the Big 12. Your team, Oklahoma State, your little sleeper team. Yeah, you could pick them too, but
I don't.
Top 2 teams in the Big 12.
Right, I'm going to go Oklahoma, number 1.
Okay.
And then number 2, between Texas and Iowa State, I think.
Wow, you're looking at Iowa State top 2. I'm going to
go
Oklahoma 1, and I'm going to go Baylor 2. I think Baylor makes another appearance.
I'm going to go Texas 2.
Texas 2.
I think Ellinger finally,
breakthrough year.
Breakthrough, yeah.
As a senior.
I'm
going to go with Baylor. I think Brewer bounces back.
Finally has that year.
Gets a couple. I don't think Baylor will have a loss in the regular season until they play Oklahoma. It's going to be the same thing as last year. And it's at Oklahoma this year, so so that's going to be a really tough environment to play in. So I'm going to go Oklahoma wins Big 12 championship over Baylor. You're going to go Oklahoma wins over Texas?
Yep.
All right, we both got Oklahoma as Big 12 champion. Let's go to the ACC now. We all know who we're going to pick as a champion. It's literally Clemson in the Coastal Division. But you look, Clemson in the Atlantic Division. Coastal Division now. You got Virginia Tech. You got Virginia. And then up here you got North Carolina. Oh my gosh.
God, don't even get me started.
Receiving core. All seniors.
Oh my. Yep.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I mean.
Running back, Michael Carter Jr. Not to be confused with Lil Wayne. He's amazing. Will, do you see any flaws in this North Carolina team?
No.
Mac Brown has done a ridiculously good job.
I mean, his recruiting is just
phenomenal. Oh my god! Like they're top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they're like.
Would you agree with me? They're not a top 10 team in the country. No.
Yeah, I agree.
But they're not top 10 recruit. They're like 7 right now in the entire 2021 class. Are you kidding?
Oh God.
That is insane. Mac Brown. Props to you, my man. That is ridiculous.
You're very talented.
Wow. And then you have all these. I mean, he inherited so much talent. And Sam Howell, the freshman, last year, 35 touchdown passes, only 7 interceptions.
Yep.
I think they win the Coastal Division. I think they beat out Virginia. I think Virginia Tech could be a sleeper.
Virginia Tech, yes.
And then in Clemson's division, Louisville. They have a really good running back in Hawkins.
Yeah.
And then
they're a good team.
Cunningham, ridiculous quarterback. He's dual threat.
Yeah.
I think he'll catch on. Because Louisville didn't really start to be a great team. Like they were like 2-3, and people were like,
yeah, and then
the end of the year, my God, they caught fire.
They did. What did they end out with?
They ended out 7-6.
Okay.
So 2-3. That means 5-3 through their last 8 games. One game they had like a 3-game winning streak, and then they beat an SEC team in Mississippi State in a bowl game.
MSU, yep.
So I think they're they are in Clemson's division. That's the only problem.
Yeah,
no one's getting out of there. With Lawrence and ETN.
No one.
And Amari Rogers, right? Yeah. And then their defense, like with Xavier Thomas, who's best defensive tackle in football, in my opinion. No one is getting out of there, besides Clemson.
Yeah.
What about the other division? You do think it's going to be North Carolina?
Yeah.
I do.
But I think Virginia Tech could stay alive.
I think they're going to put up. I think they're the only defense. But Will, first year without Bud Foster.
Yep, we talked about that.
First year without Bud Foster.
Yep.
So, I think their defense. Justin Fuente, their head coach, is a very defensive-minded coach.
Yes, he is. We know that.
So, I think they're going to bring in a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think you may see maybe Mark D'Antonio, the former head coach of Michigan State. If you bring him in as because he's very defensive-minded.
That's good.
You bring him in as a defense. I think Virginia Tech will be like a 10-win team. Yep. But who do you? I see North Carolina winning. I think their offense.
Their recruiting.
They're going to be putting up 40 points a game.
Good. Yep.
Until they end up playing Clemson,
they're
going to be putting up 40 points a game.
Enough.
Yep, I do too.
So I got.
All right, and then I got Clemson beating them. Yeah, right? There's no question that Clemson's going to win. But
we all knew it.
North Carolina's definitely getting there, and I think they might have double-digit wins.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, SEC. I got the SEC.
No.
All right.
Best division.
There are like 6 teams that could win. I'm not even joking. I am not even joking.
Not sleeper, the contenders.
Like literally 6 contenders. First one, obviously, I think best team in the SEC this year is Georgia.
I agree.
They've been snubbed by Alabama too many times. I think this year they finally beat them.
Yep. This year they finally get them.
Jamie Newman, he's shaky.
He's interesting.
We don't know how he's played, right? He's going to be playing SEC defenses this year.
Because the defense he's played last year were...
Besides Clemson, they were not
compared to the SEC defense.
Literally, I think the only 2 good defenses he played were not Wake Forest. That's who he's played for. The only good defenses he played were Virginia Tech and Clemson. That's it.
Yep.
Right? So, I do see him being a really good player, though. Because his legs, like his speed, is ridiculous.
Very quick feet.
I'd compare him to, not Lamar Jackson, because he's not he's not a run-first guy, but he is like Russell Wilson. His scrambling ability is ridiculous.
Good arm, decent enough arm.
Great arm. And
good speed.
Yes, great speed. And then his receivers, he's got some good receivers. George Pickens, my God.
Pickens.
Like, he wasn't that good last year, like for a while. And then Cager got hurt, and he's like, hello, how are we doing today?
All right, here we go. My turn. Yep. And then he just goes off.
5 touchdowns in the last 3 games.
5?
In the last 3 games. Including 2 in that game versus Baylor where they ended up winning the Sugar Bowl.
Yep, the Sugar Bowl.
They are, George, and then their defense. Oh, don't even get me started.
No, don't even.
9 returning starters out of 11 guys. Like, is there any question they're going to be number 1 defense? No, right?
No.
No, there's no way.
They're returning 9?
9 defensive starters.
God. Yeah, that's
one of,
scary.
And the scariest one being Richard LeCount, the safety.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's...
And then Monty Rice, the linebacker, and
this team is...
Their defensive line is... I don't think they lost a defensive lineman. in the draft.
I mean,
they did not lose a defensive lineman in the draft. I
feel bad for those.
If I was an offensive coordinator playing against her, I'd be like, shoot me now. Like,
I'd be scared. Yeah.
I can't do that, right? And then obviously second is Bama. Mac Jones. Sorry about that, folks. Mac Jones. Devontae Smith. Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
And then this guy, I think he might win the Heisman. Najee freaking Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he's he's literally a freight train.
Oh, yeah.
Literally a freight train. He will run you over.
Oh, yeah, he can run.
Remember the stiff arm against South Carolina? He's running down. This linebacker comes from the side.
Like,
he's just like, hello, bye bye. He's just right in the freaking face mask. And he just, hello.
Yeah, he is so good.
He's amazing. So I think their offense, they're going to put up like 50 points a game. I'm not even joking. Because Mac Jones actually has experience now.
What is he? Is he a...
He's coming in as junior.
Okay.
Because he played two of the best defenses.
Oh my God.
B's here.
He
played two of the best defenses in his last couple games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't play LSU. He did get some minutes though. He played Auburn first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Then he played Michigan.
Did they win that game?
Yeah, they put up 42 points.
Wow, Michigan. Wow.
Good stuff. And then I also see Florida.
Yep, Florida.
I love Kyle Trask, dude.
I love Trask as well. Trask
is ridiculous. Cicada, ladies and gentlemen, literally on the thing.
Alrighty, well,
let's talk loud. All right, so Mac Jones, right? Like, he literally has a cannon. He can literally throw a ball like 65 yards. Mm-hmm. And then I also think, who else do you think could be like a huge problem for other teams? Like, I mean, Waddle. I think Waddle's the best kick returner
and punt.
in college football.
This guy is so fast,
and
he
shoots like the ankles snapped, gone like dead. Like gone. I mean, yeah, exactly. So. Alabama, Alabama. But then also Florida.
Trask.
Love Kyle Trask.
Mm-hmm.
Great running game with Dameon Pierce.
Yep.
He was a backup last year. Now he's taken over. I think he's going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. And then they lost so many receivers.
They did.
But they do have the number 1 rated tight end in the SEC. Kyle Pitts. Mm-hmm. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
About that. Kyle Pitts. He's like in Madden for college, I guess. They have like this PlayStation Impact player ratings. He's a 91. Okay. Jeez. Literally throw the ball to him every play.
Yeah,
John. Yeah, and they got great running game. They got Kadarius Toney, who scored the first touchdown in the college football season.
We were actually.
Yeah, we were watching that game where he just comes around the side. He just outruns every single Miami player to the end zone.
Yep.
64 yards.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, he's like Swiss Army knife. He can be a running back. He can be a receiver. Mm-hmm. And then LSU.
Lost Burrow.
They lost 14 players.
They did, yep.
14 players to the NFL draft.
In that defense, they lost a lot.
But Derek Stingley Jr.
Oh, my
Jesus Christmas. Oh, my God. Derek Stingley, I think since Micah Parsons, the linebacker for Penn State, opted out, and he probably won't be even playing anyway, I think Derek Stingley is the best defensive player in college football.
Yeah. Now that
freshman, 7 interceptions, 13 pass breakups.
As a freshman.
19 years old, you're doing that. You're going to be special in the NFL. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, what's that?
He's going to be special. I'm telling you, like, he may be, by the time he goes to the NFL, he's going to be a top 5 draft pick. Like Akuda.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Akuda. I think he was better than Akuda last year. Mm-hmm. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
And then Auburn, maybe. I like Bo Nix. I like Bo
Nix. I think he'll be better.
They got a good running game. Mm-hmm. Love what Seth Williams is doing. He may be one of the best. I think he's top 2 receivers. Mm-hmm. I think it's him and Jamar Chase, and maybe Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
But I think Seth Williams is one of the best receivers in college football. He had that game-winning touchdown against Oregon. I think Bo Nix needs to run more.
He does. I feel like he always is in the pocket.
Exactly. I think they don't draw up enough runs for him. Like if he doesn't see anybody open, he'll run. Right? That's not designed.
Yeah, but they need to make
design plays for him, like a zone read or an option or something like that.
For him.
Right? So I think they can be successful with that. Auburn can. And then their defense is ridiculous, right? I got one more team, Texas A&M. They're interesting, right? I love Kellen Mond.
I love Mond.
Jalen Werdemeyer, tight end. Mm-hmm. They got a bunch of great receivers.
Yeah, they do.
But they just turn the ball over so much. It is ridiculous.
It is.
That's why they got beat by 60 last year versus LSU. They turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah.
They need to stop. If they're going to succeed in the SEC, because you automatically have Auburn, LSU, and Alabama on your schedule.
Yeah.
And since they're adding, remember, because it's conference only,
mm-hmm.
so they're adding like Florida or Georgia.
I mean, there's
Or Kentucky. Like, is
defenses-
that even fair? Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not even fair.
So you have to be able to, because you turn the ball over to Alabama, their offense is going to score, right? There's no doubt about it. Especially if you're in their territory.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
And Georgia.
Same thing with Georgia. Newman will score.
Points off turnovers.
Exactly. And I think LSU will score if you give them the ball. You cannot turn the ball over.
You can.
If you're Texas A&M.
Yeah.
They do that, they can be very successful.
Years, yeah.
Because their offense is great.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is pretty good. They've produced some solid defensive talent.
Yeah, they have
Like,
talent.
3 years ago, they had a number 1 overall pick coming out of Myles Garrett. Yes, sir. 15 and a half sacks in 13 games. I do think Texas A&M, they're going to be a problem. I'm going to tell you that right now. But they're just going to be like one of those, they're going to be like that horsefly right there.
Staring at me.
They're going to be one of those pesky teams that you're like, get, and then like, they're going to be buzzing around. They're going to sting one team and the other, and then Georgia's going to, or Alabama's going to come around and just smack them to death.
Swat them away.
Exactly. So they're exactly like that, right?
Yep.
They're going to be pesky, but eventually one team's just going to come out and crush them. Whether that's Georgia, whether that's Alabama, whether that's LSU or Auburn. All right. Last conference, American Athletic.
This one.
Interesting. There's so many contenders though.
There are. There's like 5.
And I think the biggest team to win, like the team with the best chance, will. Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen. They're back. The UCF Knights.
Yep, they're back.
Dylan Gabriel. Literally throw the entire football field. My God. And then Gabriel Davis, the receiver, was drafted. He's a lead receiver.
Yeah.
And then, so that's a problem. That is a huge problem. But Otis Anderson, the running back, who's basically a fullback, 38, literally, he's 235, and he's 6'2". So, good luck trying to tackle that. And UCF's defense had 2 pick sixes in their bowl game versus Marshall.
Yes.
They won, I think, 25-45.
They won.
They creamed them.
Out, yeah.
So, UCF, I think they're big. Obviously, we are in the great city of Cincinnati, and they're going to be a contender.
Yes, they are.
I'm telling you, Desmond Ritter, he's ready.
I mean, they got that. Didn't they get that Alabama running back?
Yep.
Jerome
Ford.
Yep, Ford.
He's going to be a problem, along with Garrett Dokes in the backfield. And Alec Pierce, receiver.
They got that guy from Notre Dame, too.
Yep.
I forget his name. But...
And then Ahmad Gardner, their cornerback. Amazing. He's coming as a sophomore.
Yep.
James Wiggins, the safety. Ridiculous.
Wiggins.
Their secondary is the best in the league. Their secondary is the best in the American. No,
it is.
It's not even close.
Like,
here's Memphis, here's UCF, here's Cincinnati. It's not even close. So, and then Memphis. Gainwell, holy God.
Oh, I didn't get me started.
And then Brady White, the quarterback, 30 touchdowns. Yeah. This is how many interceptions he had.
30-2 ratio. Jesus
That's 15 touchdowns for every interception.
Jesus.
And then Devontae Coxey literally can run like a 4.2, 40-yard dash. Yeah. So, and then their defense is okay. Their defense is enough to get them through. Because remember, they went 12-2, almost won the Cotton Bowl versus Penn State. So, they were amazing. But they lost Antonio Gibson, who can literally play every position known to man. He's a kick returner, punt returner, running back, and receiver.
Yeah. And he can block very well, too.
Yes, he's one of the best blocking receivers in the American.
He's a threat.
And then, how about SMU? Shane Buechele.
Oh, my God.
There's so many good quarterbacks.
Yeah, there are.
Ritter, Gabriel, Buechele, White. You kidding me?
4 really good.
Those are 4, top 50 quarterbacks in the entire college football.
Yeah,
all
in that conference.
Exactly. That is insane.
That is impressive.
For a conference that's not Power 5, you would think only 1.
You would think, yes.
4? Power 6? Power 6. I think SMU, they did lose James Prochet.
They did, but
they still have Xavier Jones, running back. Literally lightning. He's so fast, dude. And then Reggie Roberson. Doesn't get talked about because Prochet overshadowed him.
Yeah, no,
he's about to explode. He is literally about to go off like Jamar Chase type numbers next year. So as long as you have that big 3, which they have, so does UC and so does Memphis, and so does UC. No, UCF doesn't really have a good receiver. So
I mean, yeah.
But I think their offense is still too good.
I think it's still good enough.
Gabriel.
Okay,
divisions. So I'm gonna remind you: Memphis, SMU, Navy are in 1, and then Cincinnati, UCF, and Temple.
I'm gonna go Memphis.
Okay.
Wins out theirs.
Okay.
And then what's the other one? UCF,
Cincinnati, and Temple.
Not Temple, but great defense. That's what he talks about.
Yep.
Try not to be biased. I'm not gonna, but
I'm gonna go UCF. I'm going UCF. I told you. I think they're gonna win. Because they got Cincinnati at home this year.
Oh.
In Orlando.
In Orlando?
In Spectrum Stadium.
God. Yeah, I'm gonna go UCF.
Okay.
I gotta be honest.
I have to. I think UCF will be like one a game or like a half game back.
One game out, yeah.
But, okay. Who wins Memphis UCF?
God, this one's tough. And it's home. The better record, it's always.
Yep. Who do you think?
That's the interesting thing.
I'm gonna say UCF's got the better record there. I'm gonna go Memphis.
I'm gonna go Memphis.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Memphis wins, but I think UCF will have the better record. But I'm gonna go Memphis wins again.
Okay. I'm gonna go Memphis.
And Memphis will probably go to a New Year's Six Bowl again.
Yep.
Because the Mountain West canceled, so you're not gonna see Boise State.
No.
All right. Oh, we forgot to pick SEC. So who do you have for the SEC?
Georgia.
Georgia in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got in the West? Bama. It's gonna be Georgia and Bama.
Yeah. Bama.
But I say Georgia wins this time.
Yeah, I think Georgia wins.
They're pissed off, dude.
They're mad.
Because they've lost to Alabama 2 straight times. First of all, Tagovailoa, Alabama wins. And they won Devontae Smith for the national championship game.
Yeah.
First ever overtime national championship game. They lose.
And they lose. Yep.
Game-winning TD. And then they lose in the SEC championship because of freaking Jalen Hurts. So they are mad.
They are. Oh my Jesus Christ.
So freaking annoying. Anyway, so, okay. Who do you have? College football playoff. You got 4 teams. And this is really interesting, Will, because we're not including the Big Ten in this. Normally, I think Ohio State would be here.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, I'm going to go 1 Clemson.
1 Clemson.
2 Georgia.
2, yep. Those are the obvious.
3 Oklahoma. Now 4.
Right, so
I think North Carolina could be a really good sleeper here. But it's such a long shot.
I don't think
No American athletic team's getting in.
No.
UCF proved if you go 13-0, you're still not going.
Yeah.
So,
they proved that a few years ago.
Bama.
4.
I mean, if Texas wins out and their only loss is to Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game, then I think you see Texas for their first ever.
I'm gonna go. I think Bama 3. And
Okay.
Oklahoma 4.
Okay.
Because I don't know about.
Okay, gotcha. So for your matchup, you have Clemson and Bama. No, Clemson and Oklahoma.
And
Clemson,
then
Oklahoma, and then Georgia, Bama again.
I'm excited for that one.
All right, so you got Clemson, Oklahoma.
Clemson wins.
All right, got you.
And then we talked about it. Georgia, Bama. I got Georgia.
You?
Mm-hmm.
Again?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got
Okay.
Georgia. I think they can do it.
I'm gonna go. All right, so I have 1 Clemson versus 4 Alabama. I'm gonna go Clemson.
Obviously.
Very, very close. Georgia and Oklahoma rematch of the 2018 Rose Bowl. I don't think Rattlers got enough. I'm going to go. So now, Will, I think we both have Clemson and Georgia. The rivalry.
This is like...
Do you remember, Will, that really old-time rivalry, right? Like, they used to play back in 2012, 2011.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was like Aaron Murray versus Sammy Watkins. Like, it was ridiculous.
Watkins, yeah, back in the day.
So, DeAndre Hopkins was there, too, at Clemson.
Right,
they were loaded.
Okay.
I think it's Georgia's year, but
I think Trevor Lawrence just. I think
he shows up in this national championship.
Yeah, he shows up. I think.
But he didn't last year.
He didn't.
So
Burrow was man.
Exactly. He didn't last year. Bounce back year. Clemson wins.
Clemson wins.
3rd time in 6 years, which is wow. That makes me want to blow my brains out.
Yeah.
3rd time in 6 years. You kidding me?
You kidding me?
So yeah, we got Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Both got Clemson as national champion. I think Georgia holds on for about 3 quarters, maybe.
Yeah, and then Lawrence.
Then Lawrence just freaking explodes. I mean, the games. Remember, Will, in the games Lawrence doesn't do well in, it is all Travis Etienne.
Yep.
Literally last year, he had more rushing yards than Lawrence had passing yards. Not even joking.
I remember that game.
He had 212 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Lawrence had 168, which was not good at all.
Yeah, not good at all.
But anyway, guys, well, just being here, my man. Hopefully, we can see college football happen.
Hopefully, Big Ten, Pac-12.
Hopefully, yep.
Maybe.
All right, guys. We appreciate you watching. Episode 26 is in the books. Peace.